Join Bev Lazar, spiritual mentor, Reiki master, psychic medium, with Shelly Greenlaw, doula, yogi, and intuitive energy healer. Two sisters walking the path of spirit to share their experience and advice in all things energy, intuition, and beyond. The Empath Sisters.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Empath Sisters. This is Shelly.
Hey everybody, it's Bev.
And we thought today we would talk about something a little bit different and something that we maybe thought of in the past, but just haven't really touched on. And we thought we'd talk a little bit about stigmas and about how like it's stigmas in a way where, you know, on the surface you don't look sick. So like that, you know, even though that you might have an illness, but you aren't showing symptoms on the outside, you know, you don't have this like
That's not obvious,
right.
you know.
Yeah. You know,
And it also kind of goes in alignment with like being judged,
yes.
you know, the stigmas and judgment.
Yeah.
And I know I've experienced that in my life. I mean, I've also been judged many, many times for many different things, but
Yeah.
and also being judged for a stigma as well. So that's something that I've experienced. I know Shelly was expressing to me that she also has had that experience, and I'm sure most
of us have
probably have as well. And I don't know, it just kind of felt like just bringing this back to the forefront and sharing this with everybody, saying like, hey, just be a lot kinder to each other, you know. Let's just keep that light and love going on, and just let's not judge each other, because honestly we have no idea what is going on in people's worlds,
right,
what their experiences have been that led them to the place that they're in now, good or bad, you know,
yeah,
or
exactly.
just what I call what is. And so it's just, yeah, I don't know, just kind of try and be more compassionate to one another. As I always say, you know, we're all souls having a human experience, and we are all literally going through the same thing. So why, but just in different ways. So they're like, why the hell are we not kinder to each other, you know? And so,
yeah,
I don't know. I just felt like this was just really calling.
Well,
so maybe it's just something that needs to be put out there and just reminded again or whatever.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, especially right now, right? Like we're kind of, you know, with everything that's going on, you know, in the world, and, you know, just being a little bit more mindful of people, right? And,
yeah, totally.
you know, I always would say to people, like, I don't want people judging me, and I would not judge them, right? So, however, like Bev said, we probably have been judged at least once in our lifetime. I am sorry if you have not.
I want to talk to you.
Yes.
I want to hear from you,
how
because
did you do
I want to
that?
know how. Yeah. Yeah, it would be really interesting.
Yeah.
But
So
from what I can remember, being judged since we were little.
yes.
I mean, we grew up in a trailer park, and we were judged for that
We were.
all the time.
Yes.
Our
We
last
were.
name,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I could count on my hand.
both hands,
Well,
what
probably both, yes.
what
But
we
what
were
we were
judged
judged
for.
for. Yeah.
Yeah, it was our clothing, it was our last name,
Parents,
our parents, where we lived,
our religion.
our religion. That's 5 right
I
there for
know.
sure.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
totally
it's been and that's what I learned in my lifetime, is that I remember, so just a few years ago, I think just pre-COVID. And I know in my life, it was like in my awareness of going, oh man, I really had a really good understanding of why I have gone through the things that I've gone through to bring me to where I am today. And the one thing I honestly couldn't get over was why I had to be Jehovah's Witness.
All right. Yeah.
It bugged me. Like, I was like, what was the purpose of that? Because I find that there's purpose in everything that I've experienced to make me who I am today.
Right.
And oh man, and I would talk about it and bring it up in my stories, and it would just still like, but why that? Why did that happen? What's the purpose of that? And one day I was driving Tristan to swimming lessons, and then I literally just kind of put it out in my mind randomly, like, I don't even know why I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, but why was I Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah.
It was a random thought. And I literally heard this beautiful saying to me, and they and showing me at the same time. I'll just condense it all. But it basically was just like, they showed me in my lifetime how everything that I have been through and gone through, I have been judged for. And there was a reason why also it started from when I was in like such a young age, because I've always been a part of something, but yet was judged for it. And so I can see how in my line of work now, I'm still part of something.
Yeah.
But I also am still judged for it. But it definitely made me stronger. It was just like, it was a preparation to be in the work that I'm in, because I have been judged harshly in the work that I do as well in the last 10 years. And so it was just like, oh, well, that makes so much sense. At that time, I didn't get it. It was just like, I could see why I went, and became Roman Catholic. I saw all of these other things I had been judged for. And like, living in the trailer park and like all these other things. I was like, yep. But that one, it was just bizarre to me because I didn't remember. I would say it was almost like I never learned a lot of that religion. Like, it was almost like it's just like blocked out for me. It was just like, it's like, honestly, like I didn't hear anything. It was like I had my knowing. And it didn't matter. So I was like, what was that? But anyway, so being judged for many things, because when we were Jehovah's Witness, we also weren't allowed to participate in anything.
Nope.
So there was no concerts, no sleepovers, no parties, no birthday parties, no Easter, Tooth Fairy, Christmas. Anything.
No. And
so
I'm hoping no kids listen to this, but we were already told, like, at a very young age, none of this stuff was real. And so, when you're told this and people are celebrating, even though we wanted to be a part of it, we knew that it was already like not.
Totally.
And that was, I think, also hard for us too, because we were kind of like on two sides, right? And
totally,
it was really just really difficult.
It took the joy.
It did.
Out of the holidays for sure.
Totally.
Like,
even
I love
my birthday, everything.
Every holiday, I'm like, whatever.
I
mean, I love Easter.
Me too.
Easter's
that was my
always
favorite.
Been a favorite of mine. I don't know if it's because the egg smashing and the pretty colors. Honestly,
to me,
I don't
that was
really
the fun
know.
part.
But because our family pretty much got together all holidays, so I don't know. That one was the one that was always, maybe because it was spring and it was just like we had just come out of hibernation, literally. And I don't know. Easter was my favorite, and but I had to find the joy in having those holidays with my family as I had a family. It was like, okay, what I want to do, what I want to do with the holidays and all that stuff. But reeling it back here, I'm not going to make this like a counseling show today, but definitely was, just judged. But I do look at it as like everything I've been through has made me stronger. And so, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe there is judgment for that. Maybe it's part of building your strength and your power and standing up for yourself and learning to speak your truth and all of that stuff. And yeah, because that's definitely what it taught me. I just got to a point where I was like, you can judge me all you want. We
Yeah.
don't have to be on the same
Right.
level. If you're not where I'm at and you don't like
Mhm.
it or understand it, that's okay. Like, totally love you anyway, because I understand that you're on this journey, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just what is. And I'm
Yeah.
also on this journey, and hoping you also have compassion for me, that this is a journey that I am to be on in this lifetime. So it wasn't like I woke up and was like, I'm going to do Reiki and I'm going to be a medium. And I didn't even know any of that stuff. So
Yeah.
again, it's just, yeah, so been lots of judgment. And if I take it to, physical disabilities or ailments or anything like that, I mean, even when we look at mental health isn't something that you can see all the time.
Right. Exactly.
But there's so many people that are suffering with it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, more and more people are talking about it now, which is great. Even like postpartum, that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, but not enough, I still
Mm-hmm.
feel like. And yeah, I know you were sharing with me that you had experienced some judgment with a
Oh yeah.
stigma type
Oh yeah.
kind
All the
of
time. Like,
experience.
yeah. Like, I was telling Bev that, so, after my collapse in 2012,
Mhm.
my doctor decided to give me, a handicap, like one of those handicap stickers that you put in your vehicle.
Mm,
And I remember having it, and it was in the glove box forever.
yeah,
And because I felt that I didn't need it, for one. And I remember getting in trouble by my doctor because they were like, why aren't you using it? And I was
right.
like, I was a little afraid, and because I literally was afraid that I was going to be judged.
Mhm. Because there
However,
wasn't this like physical
right, because I
looking,
felt like
because it was your
I
heart,
looked
right?
fine. Yeah, it was for
Is
my
why you got
heart.
this? Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, so not everyone would see that about you.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I remember my doctor saying, like, please use it for the days that you feel, not 100%.
Yeah, up to par.
And I was like, okay, fine. So I do. I use the card one time, and I felt so, like, bad. I really
Yeah.
did. I was like,
You're
why
like,
am
I'm
I
taking a
using this?
stall away from somebody else. I know.
Yeah,
That
that
would be
actually,
really
like, I
hard.
felt that actually needed it, right? Not
Yeah,
for
yeah, of
me.
course. Yeah.
And so it was fine. Like, the first time was fine. And then the second time was, my son and I decided, like, we were having a son and mom date. We used to have these, like, Friday night movie and supper. And
Mm-hmm.
so we would go together. And so this one place that my son Eric wanted to go to, he says, Mom, I want to go to, I'm pretty sure it was Boston Pizza. I feel like it was Boston Pizza because it was like
Probably.
in the Clairview area. So it was like Boston Pizza. There was the movie at Clairview, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember him saying, Mom, I really want to go to Boston Pizza before we go to the movies. And I was like, okay, yeah. So we drive and we get to Boston Pizza, and we're in the parking lot, and there's no parking except for the handicap. And of course, my son goes, Mom, there's a spot for you right there. And I was like, I really didn't want to park there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, there's no other parking spot. I'll park there. And so I
So you would
put
have had to walk really far,
yeah, I would
probably
have
at
had to
that
walk
point,
really
which
far. Yeah.
probably wasn't
And
too good for you at that time.
no. And
Yeah.
so he was like, it's fine, and he was so sweet because at that time he literally was like,
Oh, he was really young.
yeah, I think, well, he was born in, so, like, he was probably 13 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 12. Anyway, and so anyway, I park and I put the thing up. And not even 2 minutes that I get out of the vehicle, and this
Mm-hmm.
gentleman walks over and says to me, "You're really going to do that?" And I said, excuse me? And he goes, you're really going to do that? You're actually going to park in a handicap stall when you are physically fine. It's exact words.
Mm.
And I remember going, well, that I have the right to use the
tag.
card,
We call
the
it a
tag.
tag.
And Eric, oh my gosh, like if anybody knows my son loves to express himself. He doesn't hold back.
No, and of course for his mother, for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So he was like
protective.
He was already on protective mode, and he was like, my mom's allowed to park there. And he was just all mad. And so anyway, I just said, let's just go. And I felt, for the whole night, of course, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
And I never used that thing again. I never used it again.
Yeah.
And I handed it back in, actually, to the motor vehicles, because I was like, I can't handle this. Like, it was so bad. And it made me think of all of the other people
Yeah.
that, you know, who did not have a physical outside ailment that
you
gets
can
harassed.
Yeah, exactly.
And judged for, you know, using that card.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult. I had a hard time with that. That took
would
me
be
a
hard.
long time. And like to this day, I still could have it, but I choose not to, because, you know, I just don't want to be judged. And
well, not even and directly, you know, if people are gonna like come up to you.
Yeah,
gosh,
I was
that reminds me
actually
of the time
surprised.
that this guy followed me to work. I waved at him. I waved at him on the highway. I thought he was somebody else. So I lifted up my hand, and then he gets behind me and aggressively, and I'm like, okay, like, what the hell? And just tailing me, and I'm like, what the heck? And then follows me all the way to my work. And I parked, and he blocked me in. Well, he just parked right behind me, blocked me in, and rolls down his window and starts swearing at me. Giving me the finger, blah, blah. And I'm like, I thought you were my neighbor. It was just like, holy. And I'm like, you followed me all the way to my work.
Yeah.
Like, buddy, you should check yourself.
Well, and luckily though, you had Chris with you that day.
Yeah.
So luckily, like, he didn't, you know, do anything serious. But at the same time, like,
it's just crazy. Like,
people
like,
are
what?
very, they can just, So it, like, you know, getting back to the stigmas, you know, like Bev, yourself, you have fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
That is not a physical ailment. I mean, it is,
well,
but you
can be, but you don't really see it.
Yeah,
unless
you don't see it.
Unless you're like an empath and you're really going to feel it.
Yeah.
But it's not something you typically just see.
Right.
But, oh man, I suffered for a long time. And I think the hardest part for me was, it was like my family couldn't see it. You know, and so that's where I felt like, oh, if you could just feel what I'm feeling, then you would understand how I have no energy and that my body is killing me. And I feel like I'm crippling, and it feels like I have like fourth degree burns on my feet, and I got to lay in bed, and I have like 15 minutes of energy to do something in one day, and that I couldn't physically be touched or hugged, or like, oh my gosh, it was just, there was so many things at that time that were just, it was so hard. And I just tried not to complain, but you're just like, it's just inside, you know, that you're just dealing with it, and it's so hard. And, you know, you can have this expression of like, hi, like everything is so great, you know, and just like, I'm fine. And like, you're taking care of everything as best as you can. But man, it was just really hard to give your 100% every day when you had 10% to give.
Well, and it's not even like, and I'm not trying to dismiss anything that you're saying. It's just, it goes back to the same thing you said in the beginning. Mental health. You don't know what that
No.
person is going through.
No.
You know, like so many people, myself included, knows how to turn it on and turn it off.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is just fine.
I
When
think we get
really
really
it's
good at
not.
that.
We do.
I think
And
we just
so,
get accustomed to it
yeah,
because that is survival.
it
Because
is.
you have to.
Yeah.
It's like you just have to. It's
Mhm.
almost like when I think about grieving,
Right.
it's almost like it's there, but at some point you make that switch to go, I need to move on. I need to like start
Yes.
living day to day. And that is
Mhm.
so hard. And a lot of people also have guilt over that. And then
Yeah.
they struggle with that on top of their grieving because they feel
Mhm.
guilty to like
Yeah.
not sit and cry and grieve every day, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's so many things. And yeah, like I struggled physically and mentally and emotionally when I was at my worst of fibro for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, and it was definitely my big healing journey. And I'm definitely not in the place that I used to be,
Mhm.
not even close. And I'm grateful for that. So
Yeah.
if anyone wants some tips on that, talk to me. But yeah, it's been a long journey, but it was hard. That was like, I would say mentally the most struggling for me
Mhm.
to deal
Yeah.
with, just because of the pain and how frustrating it was, and just
Yeah.
how I just wanted to do so much and I couldn't.
Mhm.
And it was just like, oh my gosh, it was actually a very depressing time. And then depression can set in
Yep.
because I was so depressed. It was like my life as a mother at that time, it felt like it was non-existent because
Mhm.
I couldn't actually function to be a mother to my kids
Yeah.
because I couldn't. And
Mhm.
so it was hard. It was so hard.
Yeah.
And I know
No.
like I've experienced judgment a lot too, because I know just spending time with our parents, we
Mhm.
get looked like, from what I can remember, people always stare at us.
Yep.
So I've always had eyes on me no matter
Mhm.
what.
Yep.
And our parents can be loud, you know, because
Yes.
they were taught to express and to try
Right.
to use their voice and, you know, all of these things. And so, yeah, it's just everybody stares. Not once have I ever been anywhere with my parents
Yeah.
and nope, like, and that somebody didn't even like bat an eye, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's just been, and
Yeah.
you know, I look at that and be like, yep. It's also why I had parents, you know, like that, and that we were always going to have eyes on us
Yeah.
and be feeling that way. And
Mhm.
it just, you just learn to just ignore it
You
and
do.
just like it's whatever, and you just get better and better at it, that you don't let it bother you. And I feel like that was part of the preparation of like energetically putting that bubble out of like, nope.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think it's a
Mhm.
little bit different for me.
Yeah. Well,
Because
yeah,
like,
yours is different for like with the parents than me.
yes, yeah, for me it was a little different
Being
just
the
because
oldest.
of course she has to say that out loud. But yes, I am the oldest. However, of course, for me it was a little different because for the longest time,
Mhm.
like, and not that Keith wasn't, but I really was the
Yeah, I
one.
mean, we can't speak for him. That's
We
his own
can't,
experience,
but
but
I do know
for
that
yours and
for
mine.
myself,
Mhm.
like I was the voice, the ears, and the eyes for my parents for the longest time.
Yeah.
And
Well, even having to like make decisions,
that's what I mean.
you know,
Like
it's
I
like, yeah,
made
you
decisions at a very young
young age.
age.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I
Yeah.
would make decisions for my parents all the time, whether
Yeah.
it was doctors, where we went, like anything.
Mhm.
And being, really young, like I'm talking like that I can remember.
Yeah,
Like I
for
know
sure.
it was like very, very young, but I remember being around the age 4. Like that's
Yeah.
when I started doing a lot of like things for my
Mhm.
parents. But I think that for why I mean it's a little different for me is that growing up and being looked at all the time
Yeah.
did not I didn't get like to the point where you were like you know, like what you said earlier, you know, like they're on their journey, you're on your journey, and you have, you know, like it's not that you don't care, you
Oh, yeah.
do. It's
Yeah.
just that for me, that's all I did do was care.
Yeah,
I
you care about it.
cared about it all the time. It bothered me that I cared. And it bothered me that, you know, I was that way where I would be so
Conscious.
yeah, like
Yeah.
of everybody's opinions and thoughts. And it was really difficult for me. It
Yeah.
took me a long time, like probably in the last, I would say probably in the last 3 years, maybe 5. I'm
Yeah.
starting to get on that journey of like, I don't care.
Stepping into that.
Yes,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I don't, it's not that I don't care, but I don't care. Like I know
Well, you're
that
not going to live your
sounds,
life
I'm
based off
not.
of what others' opinions and all
Right.
that are. That's all.
Yes.
So it's not that you don't care. It's not going to influence you
Yeah. Yeah.
in
And
how you live your life or the decisions that you're going to make and that sort of thing.
yeah.
And that's where I got. It's that it's not that I don't care about people. I do, but I
Yeah.
totally have compassion and understanding for
Me
where
too.
people are at. And I don't look at it as a judgment. It's like, it's just what is. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like I'm fine with that. But I'm not going to allow your journey dictate what I'm going to do with my life. I'm just not going to do that anymore.
Exactly. Yep. It totally
So,
that. And, you know, I do know, like growing up, I was the type of person that everybody went to, like literally went to. I, you know, would have to make decisions for everyone. And it was really, really difficult. And I never knew what to do for myself. And so,
yeah,
you know, when it came to that point, then it was like, whoa, what is it that, you know,
yeah. What do I want to decide?
what do I want to decide on? Like, and that doesn't help when I'm a Libra either, but
yeah, geez, street taco, Edo, come on. That was the first time I have seen Shelly really struggle with making a decision between two places to eat. I'm like, oh, snap. And now I see it when we go out for supper. You know, she's pretty good now at deciding, yep, I'm going to have this. And she'll stick with it. The odd time she'll be like to the waiter, so what do you recommend? After we've all ordered.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I can't decide. But no, you've definitely gotten so much better at
I have
making your own decisions for you.
Yeah. And I actually, it's funny because now that we're kind of talking about that, is because it's funny that we are, because even like today.
Yeah, thanks, Spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I know.
Even today.
I was really pushed to do this today.
Yeah, like even today, I had somebody ask me what type of energy that they gave off. And I was like, do you really want to know? Because I'm pretty honest. I'm an honest person, and I sometimes can be brutally honest. And I know sometimes it can hurt somebody's feelings, but I don't mean to hurt their feelings. But I like to tell the truth. And so I told her that, you know, her energy is low. Like, yeah, she's very,
vibrationally low.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
And
but there's a part of them that know it.
Yeah.
Honestly, they do know, and they just want they're just like, okay, because you're so in tune. Like, could you just, I feel like, because they just really, they feel it, but they just don't trust their own maybe. And they do want that confirmation or validation or something, or okay, you do feel that way too. Okay. You know, and maybe it gives them that boost to like be more aware to doing things that raise their vibration.
Kind of how it,
right?
You know, it kind of ended up being that way. However, I remember today what happened was I kind of slipped back into that old pattern of like, oh God, I hope I didn't offend her, you know, that type of thought, right? But then I was like, no, like she asked me, I told her.
Yeah, you told her what you felt. It wasn't like you're telling her your judgment of her.
No,
and she did not ask you for how, as like somebody that reads energy, how does my energy feel to you? And you said, well, it feels low.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that has to say anything bad about a person. Sometimes our energy is low.
Right.
Shelly
Yeah.
said that to me, like, I don't even know when it was, but she also said to me, Bev, your energy's really low. I'm like, I know, I feel like my gas tank is just puttering out, but
I
I
just,
knew it,
yeah.
and you feel it,
Of course
but
I do. And like,
yeah, so
so
it's not
it's just that, but it was like another reminder of like,
oh yeah, just keeping
telling
that
me
in check.
today that remember, it's not that
We
we
don't,
don't go there, but we aren't in that place anymore. You don't,
yeah,
that thing. So,
yeah, totally.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, I just want to say that I I feel like no matter who we talk to, who we
Mhm.
meet, who you sit down with, who you're passing by, all of those things is just like we just have no idea,
Yeah.
if they're suffering with pain or financial struggles or,
Mhm.
traumas or
Yeah.
childhood stuff or family drama or dynamics or dysfunction or if they're in
Mhm.
survival mode or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
We just have no idea. And I don't know, I just feel like if you're listening, just don't be afraid to just be yourself, to just
Mm.
talk about what you're struggling with. And oh yeah, this is also what I want to say is that I also heard this come up a lot lately too, where people were saying, oh, it's interesting how people, the people that are struggling mentally right now that I have kind of come into contact with, they're saying, like, what do you do when people say to you, hey, how's it going? How you doing? And they're like, I don't know, like, do I just tell you good? Because that's what everybody's done for so long. It's just such a habit. But it's like, do you really care? Do you really want to know? Because like I could take an hour of your time to share
Mhm.
with you because I do actually would like someone to talk to or
Yeah.
could maybe just bounce this off of you or whatever. And I think about that a lot when I ask people like, how are you doing? Like I want you to know I truly am asking you, how are you doing? If
Mhm.
anybody comes to me and I ask you that,
Yeah.
I want to know how you're doing. I don't, if you want to tell me good, that's your thing, but you're totally welcome and open to just tell me how you're really doing because sometimes we need that person to just be able to tell them
Yeah.
and not just pretend that it's fine, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good.
Mhm.
And it's not always like that. And maybe if you're good, awesome. Like I'm
Yeah.
great. Today's fantastic. I love that.
Right.
Great. But
Yeah.
if it isn't fantastic, share with me why if you want
Yeah.
to,
If you want to. Yeah.
if you want
Exactly.
that support or someone to talk to or whatever. So I have heard that come up a lot where people are struggling and just finding that's really hard. It's really
Mhm.
hard on them when people are asking them how they're doing because
Yeah.
they're really struggling of like, do you really want to know or should I just tell you fine when it's not?
Well, and the thing
So
is, with that,
yeah.
also, I just want everyone to realize is too, when they are in that vulnerable state,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot for that
Oh,
person to do that.
oh,
And
for
so
sure.
when they do that, I hope that you do hold compassion for them because it does
Space
take,
or
yeah, it takes
yeah,
a lot out of somebody to actually admit,
or ask or
or
share
say
or
yes.
admit or
Hmm.
yeah, it is. And you have to be extremely vulnerable to do that. And it
That's right.
takes, I know for most people, it's very hard to be vulnerable like that, especially with our
Exactly.
emotions and how we're feeling or what the struggles
Hmm.
that we have, because
Yeah.
we might be deemed as being weak, quotation. And it's not,
Yeah.
it's not. We're not being weak. We are human beings. We have all these emotions and
Hmm.
we are meant to feel them
That's right.
and express them. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and just if I don't know, I feel like, going back to reeling it back to the beginning of being mindful,
Hmm.
just being mindful of if you're going to ask somebody how they're doing, if they take the moment to ask, to open up to you, do you have the time to support them or listen to them
Yeah.
for a little bit,
Hmm.
Um, otherwise it's like, have a great day, don't ask them how
Yes,
they're doing.
don't,
Just
yeah.
tell them something really positive maybe instead.
Mhm.
If you don't have the time maybe, but again, not judging anybody, just kind of like throwing it out there, things that
Yeah.
have come up and just,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are really struggling right now too, like just with
Mhm.
the economy and how everything is going. It's just
Yes.
never would imagined it would be like this, but it is. And, more than ever, do we need to come together and really support each other and be lights in people's lives. And hopefully
Yeah.
that, just continues to ripple effect. But just, COVID was hard enough, pandemic, whatever you call all that stuff. It was hard enough on lots of people too. And yeah,
Mhm.
here we're like the aftermath of it, but it
Yeah.
still is hard. And a lot of that is trauma for so many people that are still even dealing with the aftermath, as I'm saying. So,
Exactly.
and then now there's just all this on top of it, so it's just a very hard time. So
Yeah.
let's just, reel it back to being more mindful of each other and each other's
Mhm.
journeys, and that we're all beautiful souls having a human experience. And let's try to support each other as much as we can.
Mhm. Yeah,
I think
for
that's just
sure.
really important. So
It's
yeah,
very important. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
and if you're struggling, reach
Yeah.
out,
Reach
and
out to
or
either one of us. We are
either one of
always
us,
here.
or your people, or
Right.
reach
Yeah.
out to one of your family members or your closest friends or somebody that you feel safe with.
Mhm.
um or seek
Or
talk
professionally.
therapy,
Yeah,
or like
exactly.
anything like that, anything.
Mhm.
um just take that step. It's
Yeah.
game changer to
Yeah.
go there. I know it has been
Yeah.
on my journey, years of
Yeah.
that, and it's
Yeah.
made a world of a difference in my world, for me,
Yeah.
personally. So
Mhm.
I love all healing modalities. I love it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the journey. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, just really sending you guys like love and support,
Yeah.
wherever
Well,
you
we
are
just
and whatever you are going through. And if you're not and life is great, it's awesome.
great. Yeah.
Then spread some of that greatness with others,
Mhm.
because God knows we need it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, like what we were saying. Like, I know this is maybe just a little bit of a different, episode today, and like how we wanted to talk today, but we just really feel that, we just have to remember that
Mhm.
everybody is going through something, and that
Yeah.
we just need to be mindful. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Even like the guy that followed me to my work. He was
mhm,
obviously going through something
that's right.
that created
Yes.
him to react that way
Yeah.
and to have those actions.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
Like somebody can't even wave at you. Like it blows my mind that you're going to follow me all the way to my work because I wave at you.
Yeah, but
Like
in his
people
mind,
don't even wave at people.
I know, but in his mind, he thought you were doing the different kind of wave. And so
Yeah.
it just triggered him, right? So
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's why I'm saying,
And
like,
it just went to the negative. It's like,
exactly.
like I wave at people all the time, be like, hi, like while I
Yeah.
drive. I just
Yeah.
love that. I was even saying to my family, literally like a week ago, I was like, I read some license plate and it dawned on me, and I was like, I should get a personalized plate. It should just be like, smile,
Yeah. Somebody
like
probably already
smile
has it.
today, or,
Yeah.
something really positive that makes you just think
Yeah.
about smiling, or something that makes you happy, or I
Mhm.
don't know. I was just like, I could just drive around in my car. I want people to read my license plate. I don't know. How else
Yeah.
can you reach people, right? I'm trying to think of all the
Yeah.
ways. But anyway, yeah, it was just,
Yes.
so yeah.
Or do what we do, Dwayne
Mhm.
and I. We always love to treat people. So when
Yeah,
we're in a drive-through, and for
that
the
too.
longest time, we always buy somebody behind us or in front of us their
Oh yeah.
treat. So, if
I'm,
you can do that to help somebody, or even give them a smile, and they can, pass
or
it
like I
forward later
said,
down the road, great.
a compliment, or hold the
Mhm.
door open, or have a great
Exactly.
day, or oh my
Yeah.
gosh, your hair looks so nice today, or I love
Yes.
your jacket.
Mhm.
Just, I don't know,
Compliments and
because
smiles are free.
sometimes, yeah, And sometimes, like, again, going back to what I've said in many episodes, is that spirit says little tweaks make the biggest differences. And it's a little tweak in your day. It's a little something for somebody. And we have no idea how even just that littlest thing can make the biggest impact in somebody's day when they are struggling.
That's right.
You know, just to lift them up and just to keep that spark going and just, you know, make them feel noticed. That's what I also noticed, is that so many people feel invisible, and I just can't stand that. And so it's just, you know, people want to be seen and heard.
Yep.
It's just so important. And so anyway, that's where I'm going to leave that. So we really do appreciate you listening to this episode, and we were going over some content and stuff, and this one really just jumped out at me, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I just really feel we need to talk about this one. So, and maybe it's just because of where things are at, or I don't know. But anyway, we love you all.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Yeah, we do.
We appreciate like, I know we say this every time, but I'm not
Every time.
joking. We do. We literally do.
We do.
And we just hope that everyone is, you know, in a good place.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? You'll make it through.
Yep.
I believe in all of you. I believe in and the strength that everybody has within them. And I know, I look through my lifetime, I know Shelly and I've had these conversations of like, wow, you know, I really went through all that. Like, if I look back in my life, that's all the things, like, it's just, it feels like it happened to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because there was just so much. And I tell you, I survived it all. I made it through. And it was just one foot in front of the other, day at a time.
That's right. That's
and
all you can do.
to use my voice, express myself, and sometimes just sharing. And sometimes I needed to get professional help. And that also made a big difference for me. So, and find your people. That's important. It's important to have your circle of people, or a couple people that are really like-minded like you. And they're special. They're really special in our lives. So yeah, you want to do that too. Anyway. I don't want to get all sappy here, but anyway, okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Empath Sisters. And we hope that you enjoyed this topic today with us. And we're sending you all lots of love, light, and gratitude wherever this may find you. And we appreciate you all so very much. And we really, really do hope you that you're just, I don't know, just, you're just well. Yeah.
Just
and if you're better than well,
great.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. And take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.